Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sadhasiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sakana Vavadu Sakana Bhunaktu Sakaviryam Karavavagai Tejasvina Vadidamustuma Vishavagayi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good morning. So we were saying the first 3 verses we completed in Isavasya Upanishad. Om Isavasyam idagum sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat kena takkena punjita magrataha kasyadanam kurvanneva karmani jivaset sadakam samaha evam tvainanyatyo asti na karma lipyate nare. Asurya namate loka andena tamasa vrataha tamste pretya abhigachanti ekecha atmano janaha. We have spent a reasonable amount of time in learning from the first 3 verses that Isavasyam, that is seeing divinity in everything, is liberation. That seeing divinity in everything requires we to sacrifice all our own perception with this adhyasam, adhyaropam, superimposed ideas about people, misconception, perception which are biased, everything have to go. And that purity of thought, mind, if it is not there, then we are in the samsara. That's why bunchita, you protect yourself by that sacrifice. And then we said, we are not able to do that now. Then they say, okay, you have to use your mind. Why? Because manasaivanam drishtabhyam. Only by mind you can realize it. See, mind is not our enemy. We always say mind is a monkey, it goes here and there. It is the thoughts that makes the mind to be an inhibitor of truth. The mind is the essential sadhana. So in the second verse, the Rishi has told us to go and purify the mind. And he gives a technique of purifying the mind by doing what you ought to do. That is, you always do what you need to do, ought to do. And don't do what you should not do. And then, if you commit to do that, slowly but surely realize that your action is blessed by the God to bear any result. You know, Arjuna can aim and send the arrow. It may not reach because the trajectory may change, velocity change, pace change, the wind blows, who knows? So we have the adhikaratvam to do what we ought to do, but the outcome is Ishvara Prasad. Understanding this idea that whatever I do, the result is Ishvara Prasad, gives us humility, and then it allows us acceptance. You know, in life, acceptance is a primary mantra. If you don't accept, then you have problems in life. then the acceptance also becomes because all this is not for me. I just do it like a tree flowers, the sun lights. So when you do the karma pala tyagam, this doing of action becomes a karma yogam. So when you do karma yogam, that means you do Ishvara Prasad, Sarvam Ishvararpanam. The outcome is you accept it, bring it on, problems, bring it on. Because I know from Bhagavad Gita, problems are the stepping stones to resolutions. Vishada Yoga. Never forget this. The chapter heading itself, Bhagavan did not give a chapter heading. Some acharyas give the chapter headings. Vishada Yogam tells you everything about Bhagavad Gita. Vishadam is your delusion, your grief. Convert that to a stepping stone. Yoga is a sadhana. Every setback in life is make you perfect. Therefore, what do I need? I need more setback, more challenges, because it makes me pure. So it is not, therefore, troubles are something to be afraid of. Face on. See, this is the idea of Upanishad. Upanishad does not make you weak. It does not tell you you are a sinner. You are perpetually doomed unless you pray to the God. No. They may say it sometime to bring your attention. But Upanishad makes you not as a loafer, but Ishvara. You're going to see it. You are the Ishvara. From Asi. See, you can approach life in two ways. I have trouble, I am limited, I need to improve my life, I need to buy cars, I must learn more things. Therefore, I yearn, I go, seek, beg. Step by step, I improve. That's fine. In this bhavam, in this approach, you have fear, imposed humility because of this fear. But Vedanta turns it upside down. Hey, you are not limited. You are not a sinner. Because nothing can touch you. You are Ishvara. You are Atma. Then I don't know that I am Atma. I don't look good. I don't feel good. That's because you really do not know who you really are. Now, you do what you need to do, you ought to do, the way that you're supposed to do. But now your pursuit is not to acquire something new, not to acquire the gravitas and the power that you don't have, you think. No. On the other hand, you do whatever you need to do with the view to realize that who you really are. You see, exactly you're going to do the same thing. But when you take a Vedantic approach, the way you do things is not like a beggar, not like somebody who's looking for things, like a Raja, Maharaja. Like this is what's called Rashtra. You rule when you command over the things that you do, of course, with all the Vinayam. You are still, Mumukshu, still a Jignasu. Ishvara is there. But Ishvara is with you. That strength gives you the confidence. Like Arjuna had the confidence. When Krishna offered, what do you want, Duryodhana? You want me or you want everything else? Duryodhana took everything else. But Arjuna got Krishna. That means Arjuna got the Atma. Arjuna has got Atma Balam. So, but the container of that Atma Balam is your Manas. We understand like this right now. It's not perfect, but understand like this. Therefore, the need to improvise cleanse your mind is a paramount thing. That's why Vedas spent 86,000 verses of it, in 1 lakh of verses, 86,000, 86% of the Vedas are about karma kanda. Just improve, do this ritual, do that. It is making lots of, white lies. White lies in the sense, it gives you benefit. Oh, you want that? Putra Kameshthyam. You don't have son, do this. You get Putra Kameshthyam. So it is creating you a methodology by which you submit yourself to Vedamata. You do the rituals, you do the karmas. Shraddha is built in. And then it's going to take you from karma to upasana. Yeah, you're doing everything fine. But can you just do this upasana, meditate? Taitya Upanishad gives you different upasanas. Then one day it's going to say, stop it now. Your mind is pure. Did you inquire who you really are? What are you doing for? Now, that is where the jnanam comes in. Your mind is pure. But this is what the second verse giving you. If you don't listen to these first and second verse, and if you still continue to do what you do, I'm not telling you, I'm telling myself, then I go to the hell. The hell could be a real hell or a pseudo hell. A pseudo hell is a heaven. All these lokas where I can have witnessing Ramba and Urvashi's dance, dinner with Brahma and Indra, perpetual freedom until such time I'm dropped down into the earth. So Shankara's Bhashyam says all these lokas are Asura. Asura Namate Loka, all these are Asura Loka. Then I said, okay, what do I do? Should I do now? Know about Atma. Then we asked the teacher, tell me about Atma. And if I know Atma, what is the benefit of me? It said, Dvaiti Yatvai Bhayam Bhavati. Upanishad. I think I told you last class. Bhayam comes, fear comes because there is something other than you. And when you recognize something other than you is your own kith and kin, then the fear may subside. But even still, there is a fear. That means Dvaitam is Bhayam. Dvaitam means Ragadvesham. Ragadvesham means Moham. Moham means Shogam. That means Samsaram. So Dvaitam is Samsaram. So Advaitam is that how do you liberate from the samsara? So therefore it says, by knowing Atma, the prayojanam is you become Advaitam. How is it possible? Because it's going to say Atma is Ekam. There's only one Atma. That means everything is Atma. Coming back to Isavasyam, even going back to Purnamata, Purnamita. Purnam is complete. See, you can even take the whole Isavasya Upanishad as the elaboration of the Shanti part. Purnamadaha, Purnamita. The whole Bhagavad Gita as the elaboration of Isavasya Upanishad. That's why this Upanishad is so important and so beautiful and so paradoxical. Okay, now you tell them, fine, Guru, please come to the point. Tell me how to find out the Atma. How to know about the Atma. Now, here comes the problem for the teacher. If you want to say about anything in words, Samskrita Vyakaranam talks about 5 lakshanas. It must be an object that is perceptible, a dravyam, a rutihi it's called. I see the computer, I see this house, I see the sun, I experience it. Atma. See, whenever I say Atma, please don't think of some esoteric being somewhere. I think all of us have this problem of distancing ourselves. Atma is I, the self. So when I say I am a man in this world. When Lakshmi ji say I, she is a woman in this world. But Atma is I for both of us. A sheep is also say I, if you can talk. So the pullinganam, all this is gone. It is become Navamsakalingam, gentleness. So whenever you say Atma, grammatically it's a masculine gender, but we talk about Atma Tattva. Tattva means, we immediately take Tattva means a concept. If I am the Atma or Atma Tattva, am I a concept? Like, the Mad Book used to be a little doodles. I used to enjoy that in the young days. It's one of the doodles says, oh, how am I not sure? I'm not somebody's bad dream, Vedanta says the same thing. Am I a concept? Concept we think is something unreal, just an idea. But we are an idea. Ideation creates everything else. Concept crystallizes. Understand? When you analyze the Tattva, I remember that. Stula Sukshma Karana, when you go dwell deeper and research it, every gross product becomes subtle products and becomes a concept. But what is hydrogen? What is oxygen? It's a concept of certain formulation of energy in space. So the finest of matter becomes a concept. The light of the concept is the pure awareness, that is Atma, the Atma Tattva. So all this is building because the Guru is going to say, look, I'm sorry, my friend, I'm not going to really tell you straight away because I cannot. It is not saleable, not sayable. So therefore, I will employ a technique. This is where the Mata saying through the Guru. I employ the technique called negation. Not this, not this, not this. So how do I apply this formula of not this? If you can say anything as this, that means that I can objectify it. Physically, mentally, emotionally, or if I can experience that. If I can experience that, it is objectifiable. Example, this coffee I'm drinking, objectifiable. The lessons I'm studying, the book I'm seeing, the person I see, the body I see, the mind I see. I know I'm thinking. So everything I say, not this, not this, not this. So there is some point where you are unable to negate na. This is not this, I cannot say. But if I say, then I'm not saying. If I don't say, I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's inexplicable a state. I'm just a visation. The rest of it, the resultant of it. This anubhuti. No book can tell you, no guru can teach you, no Vedas can tell you. But it can tell you, you will be in that state of being. Atmanubhuti. Bhagavan Ramana says, Ayye Adisulabham. This is so easy, he says. Not because he's Mahatma. But he says it because it is the most trivial thing. I think some wonderful discourse I heard some many years back, and he was showing about the light of consciousness. You can see in my hand, the light is there. If I remove the hand, the light is not there. No, light is there everywhere. But you need a upadhi to reflect it. When I take the upadhi back away, we say light is not there. But now you know it. No, light is there. That's why I see the hand. The hand is not gone. Light is still there. But I cannot see the light unless there is some upadhi. So what he had done is aparoptam and apavadam. Adhyaropam and apavadam. Apavada means taking away the hand. So this is how the Vedanta is going to talk about the Atma. But then we'll have some problem, because if I am saying not this, not this, not this, I'm negating something, right? So what is the negated part? What do they call it? If it's not Atma, grammatically it is Anatma. In Sanskrit, as you know, you use the na prefix and prefix for anything starting with the akaram. Atma, Anatma, not Atma. So I say self, not self. Then you will say, look, therefore there are two things, the self and not self. That's the reason why I'm able to separate it. This vivekam of nitya anitya vastu vivekam, with Bhagavan Shankara talks about it, separates self from the not self. Therefore, it is a proof that there are two things. How do we then reconcile this as an Advaitam? We are going to see how we are going to reconcile in the subsequent mantras, because it is not different, because the Anatma cannot exist by itself. It is like, can you bring that necklace without the gold from the golden necklace? Can you bring that bangle alone without bringing the gold from it? No. Gold is bangle. Bangle is the nama rupam of the gold. So therefore I can say, listen carefully here, because this is important to understand. I can say the gold bangle is one thing or two things. It's one thing. But I can see it as a two ways. It is gold. It is a bangle. I say this because there's a golden ring. That is gold, and that is a ring. I need to have these differences, because in my Vyavahar, in my transaction world, I deal with a different value system for them. Therefore, for convenience sake, I put a few words to this. But can the bangle be separated from the gold? No. You can't bring that bangle, leaving the gold away. But therefore, is it the nama rupam, is it illusion? No, I see it as a real. So mithyam is not illusion. Mithyam is that people know, some way they say their Maya Tattvam is all illogical, because it doesn't apply to our rational mind. It's real, I see it, I feel it. But it is a relative reality compared to the absolute reality. What is the relationship between these two? Relative reality is something I feel, experience in my real terms, but its existence is not real. Its existence depends on something else. Like the bangle existence is on the gold. So what do we call this gold, which is the residuant part of it, resulting part of it, as absolute reality, satyam. The bangle is mithyatvam. Now, expand this to the samashti or yashti. So this whole body of mind, my physic, my mind, emotional thing, annamaya kosam, manomaya kosam, pranamaya kosam, vingaramaya kosam, anandamaya kosam, all kinds of sheets I have. Everything is the nama rupam. It's a rupam like this, the body, or a namam like mind, everything. So what are these doing? They are all having this form on my Atma Chaitanya. Adhyaropam. Adhyaropam means superimposition of this on this eternal truth. But now I have to somehow separate this out. Therefore, I want to call this Anatma. We are not creating a new thing. There is no Dvaitam. Atma, Anatma. This Anatma cannot exist. Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vasishyate. If I take this my body, if I remove all these things out of it, the Purnam alone, effulgence alone exists. What happened to this Nam Rupam? Gone. It's gone. That's why it's called Maya. So even though it looks like Dvaitam, it is Advaitam. But I need this Dvaita Bhavam because I have assumed this Deham, Bhogatma. So therefore, to explain what is Atma, the Veda trembles and struggles to give you these examples, and Isavasya Upanishad is going to do the same thing. That's what we are going to see. Okay? See, the language is what makes it in I think we saw in the last class or something, when we take the pot example to Swetaketu, his father is telling, Yato Swamyakena Vrutpindena Sarvam Murunmayam Vijnadam. By knowing the cause, underlying cause of the pot, you know all that. This we saw. This is Syat Vacharambanam Vikaro Namateyam. So it's called a Vacharamba Sostra in the Chandogya Upanishad. Vacharambanam means, Arambanam means holding, something to think. I mean, this is good to, I'm digressing, but it's useful for you to contemplate. See, when you learn things, knowledge, when you learn, what are you gaining? You're gaining more vocabularies, more words. And then the words have got some meaning, if you're a computer guy, a bit is a different thing for you when compared to a home economics guy. The bit is different because you put a different artha to a shabda. The shabdartha samyogam is something which is out of your experience. If you look at everything, therefore, is some word, some meaning. Atma, what is this? I could have called something else, a different word. I can call it halwa. You can have the same meaning of it. So it is not the paribhasha that is important. It's not the building of vocabulary and talking in so many slogas and words. That is not important. It is what is the import. Again, you can take the adhyaropam. What does the word carries as the meaning of it? And this is the whole science of linguistics, In linguistics, normally they do, the phonetics is the how the sound is being used. Then the sound forms into the words. They call it a morphology, how the words are forming into a word. Then the words form a sentence, syntax. The sentence gives a meaning, semantics. You see? To convey your experience, you need a tool. The tool is the watch arambam. The arambam is a holding. How the words hold is your intention of expressing your experience to others. You formulate a sentence. The sentence must have a structure. The structure should have certain meaning imposed, the rules imposed. And if you need to communicate, say communication is the key in the world, right? Everything is misunderstood means problem. A great communicator is the one who is able to impart knowledge or work with the society easily, because communication is transportation of experience and insight into others. This is where the language comes in. The linguistic studies, the Panin's grammar, for example, Panin's grammar in Sanskrit is considered to be a wonderful work for a Sanskrit grammar. Not really. Panin's grammar is a grammar for meta language, any language. It so happened he chose Sanskrit to exemplify how perfect or how near perfect Sanskrit is. I say near perfect because there are also some shabdas are not there. But it is, in everything else, is as perfect as it can be. So Western sciences are using Panin's grammar to build meta languages, new languages, correct languages. There's something called a computational linguistic. Computational linguistics is, especially with the AI, machine learning, and all this stuff, the technology is making people to communicate in their own language, lingua form, and the machines to understand it. Now, then you need, machines are dumb. They cannot match human mind. No matter how many years come in, they cannot match. But they are fast in a rule-based algorithms. So what you need, therefore, you need to have, I'll give an example. In many languages, say English, for example. English is a flexible language, but it doesn't have a lot of, it's imperfect in many sense. In the computational language, when the machines translate, they decode your wording. If you use English or if you use any language today, the order of the words are important. Say, for example, Rama killed Ravana. You feed into the computer. But for whatever reason, something sorted into the computer, the processor receives Ravana one token, Rama one token, killed one token. When he parts it, he doesn't know it now. Is Ravana killed Rama or Rama killed Ravana? This is called this example is called a marker, a phonemic accusative marker. Who is subject, who is object? There's no marker. Unless the computer knows Ramayana, it is Rama, the hero, who killed Ravana. So this language is useless because this computer cannot learn Ramayana. How many of the epics it can learn? But if I choose, say, a Sanskrit language, it will be Ravanam Ramaha Hatavan. Ramaha, the Rama. Ravanam, the Krishna. Hatavan, the Priyapata. You can say Hatavan Rama. You can say it Ravanam, Ramaha, Hatavan. Any order doesn't matter. Because the language itself contains the contextual meaning. You don't need a story. That's how you should be, You don't need to know the background to interpret a word. Okay, I've just gone completely out of the way. I draw back. What I'm saying is, therefore, it's just a words. It is not the vachar. Therefore, don't dwell too much into the words of it. Atma, Ishvaraha, Jivaha, Allah, I don't know, whichever you want to call it. But that is what he's talking about is the Chaitanyam, the conscious principle that is in you. That's what I was going to say. So let us see the next one. Anejat ekam manaso javiyo nainat deva apnuvan purvamarshit tat dhavato anyan eti tishtat tasmin apo matarishva tathati anejat ekam manaso javiyo nainat deva apnuvan purvam arshita. Like the first line. Now he is going to give you a definition of Atma, indicated definition of Atma. Anejat. Ejat means the dhatu is ejru. Ejru means to shake, to move. Ejat means to move. Anejat, now you know it. An means opposite. Anejat means unmoving. So this is the definition of Atma. It is unmoving. You can think of two ways. It is totally useless. It can't move anywhere. Powerless. Or it is all-pervading. There's no way it can move. But we know it's Purnam. Though it is not the first interpretation, it is not moving because it is everywhere, omnipresent, Anejat. Then the Sishya thinks that means there is no one holy place. Every place is holy. It's not Kasi Kshetram is holy. Kasi is here, holy. Everything is holy. It's my perception changes. It reinforces Isavasya, Anejat. Then it says Ekam. See, Anejat, it's a negative way. Negative way is easy to indicate the all positive stuff. But Ekam, it looks like positive, right? One. But you must take it as Advatiyam, Advaitam, not two. Because if is Atma, it is inside me, then it's inside me, inside Balaji, inside Naresh, inside Lakshmi. How many Atmas? There are Nadams which are doing this. There are schools of thought, thinks there are many Atmas, and the Atmas are floating in the sky or whatever. No. Demolishes this. Ekam. Because why? How do you logically agree to this? If you agree Purnamataha, Purnamitam, there cannot be two Purnams. Ekam. The problem is, I don't understand, I am Purnam. We will do that. But definition says, therefore, Anejat Advaitam. So we got two words, negative words to define the Atma. Atma is who? I, you. I don't move anywhere. I don't die. I don't go anywhere. I'm always here. I'm not different from you. Then the Guru looks at your face and say, okay, you are thinking, how do I contemplate this? Then he realizes, okay, I have to teach him about Atma in two forms. If I say Nirgunam, he is an Anejat Advaitam. But I need to show him with upati. Sopadika. Sopadi means with upati. Upati means what? Upati means limiting adjunct. This word you must remember. Upati, upahitam. Upati means that which it limits. What's the example? Oh, my body is my upati. Why? My body limits me to project to you that I am 170 centimeters tall. This height is my limit. Anything that brings a quality to you, in anything, is an adjunct. Vedanta normally goes to an example. It's quite difficult to understand the example, but let me try. If you put a spaticum, a prism, a spaticum, which is colorless, I put a red rose next to it, spaticum looks red. So this rose is the upati, because it makes the spaticum looks red. The red is a upahitam. Same way, the mind get illumined by the Atma. The mind becomes as if it is all-knowing Atma, Chitabhasam. So we'll see that later. So therefore, it is going to now define Atma in two forms. It's Nirguna Brahman and a Shaguna Brahman. Shaguna Brahman means Brahman, it takes a form and a namam which we can worship, Ishvaraha. Brahman, where there is no Maya, Maya Rakitam. That is Brahman. Maya Shakitam is Ishvaraha. Ishvaraha has got the Maya as his power. We separate the Chetanam and Achetanam, the conscious principle and the supporting principle, material principle. Now, if you take that example, now you leave the Brahman aside, now you come to the Ishvaraha, which associated with the Upati. Now there are two things, Ishvaraha and the Upati, or Atma and the Anatma. Atma and Shariram, or the Atma and the mind. You can check anything, because the finest of Upati is the mind. So take the mind. So my Atma, myself, and the mind. It says, Manaso Javiyo. So Manasaka Javiya. Javiya, Javi means speed, faster, comparative sentence here. It is faster than the mind. You know, it strikes you hard, right? Anejat, motionless, faster than the mind. This is Vedantam for you. Completely conflicting each other, but perfectly comfortably sitting if you know what you're doing. As a Brahman, it is Anejat. As a Saguna Brahman, as Ishvara, when it manifests into a supreme God or a supreme Jiva, because you're going to see Jiva Ishvara Aikyam, that Atma, the Atma Tattvam, is faster than the mind. You know, the Yaksha Pramana, I mean, when Yamadharmaraja asked Yudhishthira, what is the fastest thing? He says, mind. You know, if you can think of mind, Shankara even goes on exemplifying like, I want to go to Brahmalogam. The moment you think you've gone there, come back. So mind is the fastest thing. But if you think of it, I want to go to Chennai in my mind. When I think of Chennai, I'm there, I come back. But how am I able to go there and realize myself? Because I am Jadam, inert. That means my Atma that is there, which shines in me here in London, is also in Chennai when I was there. Which means it is traveling faster than me. Okay. This language is to say Atma is there everywhere. Sarvagadaga. Then it says, the meaning of it. In Naina Deva Apnuvan Purvam Arshate. Arshate is a Kriyapada. Arshate. It's gone. When it is gone? It is gone before the Devas. Purvam Arshate. Gone before. Who Devaha? Yenate, this Atma Tattvam has gone before the Devas. Okay. Devas are Devas, you can say, But here it means the Indriyas. Divyati Prakashetiti Devaha. What gives you light? How do you know? My ears, my hearing power. There is illumination power. I see, my seeing power. So all these powers that we enjoy, each power is a devata. We'll think of Puranam to expand this one. So in the Shrishti is, again, it is all story to take it to the Advaita Anupati. Is the Parabrahman, when it become Maya Shakti with Ishvara, why it chose that form? Nobody knows. Idam Sarvam, Aham, it says, Aham Padarthaya, Sachidananda Murtaye, there's a shlokam there. Aham Pada Artham is Sachidananda Murti. Parashivam is Aham Pada Artham. The meaning of I is Shivam. Idam Vivasharupini is Ambad. Everything else is Ambad. So this Shakti together, when they collude, and there is a bubble comes out. The bubble is called a garbham, the womb. It's called Mahaprana. This Mahaprana comes out. So when I say Mahaprana, it's Ishvara with the Shakti. It takes a form. The Mahaprana is a creator, consumer, everything. Everything comes out of this prana. Prana Shakti is Kriya Shakti. In the Samashti, it's called Mahaprana. In the Jivas, it's called Alpa Prana. The Prana Shakti, the bubble comes in. Within the bubble, the whole world is created. The universe is created. The creator is called a Hiranyagarbha. We see the next line, Matarishva. Inside also a bubble there. In this bubble, when it wakes up, it creates this external world, waking state. I see you. There's a class today. All this kind of visualization happens because of my prana shakti is running. The prana illumines all my faculties, devas. I transact. A world is created in this prana, in this bubble. Then this bubble wraps me in ignorance and takes me to the sleep. The prana shakti there creates another world. It's called dream world. I see the dreams. It creates. Then it goes to deep sleeps. There is a prana there. I don't know the prana there. There's no world there. But there must be a prana by induction, because without the prana, it won't happen. I'll be dead. So you see, this prana bubble is what is creating everything. Mayyeva sagalam jatam, mayi sarvam pratishthitam. Mai sarvam layam yadi tad brahma atpayam asmayaham. Upanishad. I mean, if you go to Bhagavad Gita, and I'd be taking Bhagavad Gita classes because there are so many places Bhagavan says the same thing. It's all inside you. You are the creator. Your world is coming out of you. You create this. Therefore, if I am the creator, if I am powering my senses cannot reach me because it's beyond the aprameyam. You can't reach it. So this is what it is. Aprameyam, it says. The second line then, tat dvapatonya atyedi tishtate. That Atman anyan davato. Okay, you can also say the same thing. You can take from to mean everything that runs away, runs to find something, which is the senses. Okay, it repeats the thing. I like to take it as also what is running away is the time. So time transcends. The Atma transcends the time. How do we say this? Because Sthula Sukshma Karma Sariras are hidden away in Turiyam, the deep sleep. So something is watching all this. That's why I can't get up and say, I was sleeping. How do I know I was sleeping? I didn't have the senses. Therefore, the real me is transcending my time. My times are defined in only three spaces. When I am wake up, when I am a dream, when I am deep sleep. In the wake up stage, my time is what I define, 60 seconds, Nalika, whatever. In the dream, my times are different. Because in my dream, I been born, married, died, my whole life can go. But still there's a time because the time is not there. You cannot have a coherence of thought. Sequence will be there. Editing the movie is difficult. So there's a time. But the pace of time is different. Durita kalam in dream. So time still exists. So time is there in Jagrata. Time is there in dream sleep, in dream state. That means time changes by the speed of your thought. In physics, we say speed of your light. This is what Einstein's got in a wonderful brain, and he expressed it beautifully mathematically. How the time changes, flexes according to the speed of light. But mind is much faster than the light. So your time in your dream is a lot more dhuritam. But it is real in the time frame. That is why when you pray to God for salvation and surrender, God translate your karma palam. God cannot, he's the supreme judge. He cannot bend the laws for you. Karma palam means if you do this mistake, you must experience this pain or pleasure. But what he can do, he can change the cell in which you are experiencing this. Is it Tihar jail or is it a first-class jail, depending on your punyas. So he sometimes makes you suffer in the dream. So you have a bad dream. Bad dream is as good as bad thing happen in life, right? You sweat, you fear. Next day, even if afraid to go to the bed. But the suffering runs in a faster time. God's play. So that's why listen, even in the dream, if you get a bad dream, don't complain. It's a blessing. It just gives away. So therefore, the time should be also there in the deep sleep. The time is Maya, Shakti. But in what spirit is? I don't know. Now, if there is something beyond the deep sleep, because deep sleep is only a state of my ignorance, but something is knowing that I am ignorant. I had a good sleep, but I do not know. That means somebody was watching the sleeping of the time. Therefore, There is a transcendental state of the Atma which transcends time. The different speed of the mind, different speed of the senses, different speed of the time, all that is unreachable, or all that cannot reach the Atma, which transcends that. So that's what the second line says. Then it brings out what I explained just now. Matarishva Nadati. Matarishva. Here Shankara explained this. This is basically the Vayu. Whatever that runs smoothly on the sky. Matari Akashe Swayati iti Matarishva. That which goes in the sky unhindered. Air. You can take as a Vayu Bhagavan as all the radiating power, that power that fills up this space. Or you can take it as Sutratma, Sukshma Sarira of the Virat Purusha. You remember Tattvabodha? Like I have this gross body, I have this subtle body, which is my mind. Annamaya Kosham is my gross body. Pranamayam, Manomayam, Vijnanamayam. Pranamayam is my breathing, which is subtle and gross mixed. Manomayam, the mind. Vijnanamayam, the buddhi. All this together is called Sukshma Sariram. The Sukshma Sariram is what we call it, Chidabhasham. Chidabhasham is, Abhasham means, not in Tamil Abhasham. Tamil Abhasham means vulgar. Sanskrit Abhasham means mimicking something similar to that. Chit means Chaitanya. Chit Abhasham means that mimics the Chaitanya. Like the little piece of mirror, when it gets the sunlight, it illumines, it can burn things. Imagine the mirror thinks, I am the sun. Because I'm giving light, I'm burning things. Yeah, it's doing the thing. But it is wrong because it is just mimicking the sun. So you and I, when I speak, when you hear, when we do things as if I am doing with the ego, I am the Chidabhasham. I am the Jiva. Jiva, there's no perfect definition. I use this thinking so you can have the same approach. Jiva and Jivatma. Jivatma is a tattvam of the underlying Atma, the consciousness, the Chit, Chaitanya. Jiva is the actor who illumined by the Chaitanya. You and I. Jiva Bhavam. This Jiva Bhavam is what we must sacrifice. Tena tektena bunchita. Why I have to sacrifice? Isavasya Upanishad. Everything is Chaitanya. That thought I am not able to do because I have a thought, it is me. Jiva Bhavam. Ahankaram. It's not this, I identify this world to say, that's fine, you must say it. But I do, I am the Karta, I am the Bhokta. That Jiva Bhavam, if you have, what's happened there? Everything you do, not like sloga 2, but with karma, you do a lot of punyam, a lot of papams. All those karma palam goes as sockets in the karma sarira, causal body, which is underneath. The causal body is a weight that is tied up to the Sukshma Sarira. At some stage, God said, okay, you enough suffered on this body, you must leave. The prana, which ties up this Sthula Sukshma Karna Sarira with a rope of prana, unwinds. It removes. The bubble burst. the body drops dead. So the Sukshma Sarira, which is the Jiva, the Karana Sarira, which is the burden of its Karma Palam, it carries, it flies out. Like the mirror reflects in different walls when the mirror moves around, Chalanam flies out. But its samskara has used to the experience of enjoying things. It has not given up, it has not done enough fasting in the life, therefore it is hungry for food. It is hungry, thirsty for water. It needs light. Now it has gone to some andhakaram, somewhere it is gone. As a jiva, the papa punyams are dragging me to Pitraloka, Yamaloka, Naraloka, Narakaloka. Then we do in samskara, the children give them the titi, tarpanas, in subtle form, the water. We'll see the next sloka why the water is important. Oh, yeah, it's there. Tasmin apo matrishva. Apo ha. Apaha means water. Mean water. Kriya. When you do all this kriya, it finds a place. Now, this is for me as a jiva, for you. So when I travel from this body, I must go light. That means when my causal body doesn't weigh me down with papa punyas too much. So I need to really plan my travel. Yeah. That's what we are doing in this life. And it's autopiloting. It can take to any body because the direction of my travel is driven by propelled by my thoughts, my samskaras. I can say Narayana, Narayana, and go to Vaikuntham or Brahmalokam, Kailasham, Mukti. So I love this pet. So you may come back as a pet, I always like to write, poetry or maybe in a book in a library, I don't know. So what you really, that's the reason why you need to really move as steady as possible in life. Your Parama Purushartham is moksham, free from everything else. Then I decide, okay, let me just enjoy. I go as a Rama Avatara, Krishna Avatara, Guru Avatara, Tathagata Avatara. You can come back and take bodies. So this is what the Shastra tells you. You have the power to do. But now this is not only for you and I. This is Vyashti, individualized. But the Samashti, the whole cosmic part, the whole world is again a living organism. So all our subtle body together comes, Hiranyagarbha, Sukshma body. My Alpa Prana becomes the Mahaprana for Hiranyagarbha. My gross body, which is Sariram, for me, for the cosmic persons, Virata Purusha. So, Ishvara also has projecting the Hiranyagarbha into three parts. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana. The Karanam is the Maya, Sukshma is the Hiranyagarbha, the Sthulam is the Virat Purusha. Now, what does he do? He does all this with Tishtat. Tishtati means he is just standing. He is transcending the time, transcending everything else. He is moving around. But he has said Tishtati. Bhagavan Shankara puts a prayogam, he puts a word called Iva. Ivartam. Tishtati Iva. Iva means like. One can put those words. In fact, Bhagavan says, the Ivartam I am putting here, Shruti is explaining in the future. Shankara says, what I use the word, what it means is that in other Upanishad, the Ivartam comes out. So Bhagavan says here, like moving, like transcending, but it does not move anywhere. This is Sarva Adharam, Sarva Gataka, Sarva Rasaka. So the self is everything. So this is what it says. And tasmin, in that Atma Tattvam, apaha matarishva dadati. The Hiranyagarbha, dadati means giving. So what Ishvara does is, you can take in two ways, as Shankara says. When it takes the Saguna Brahma form to sustain this created world and to take it back, Hiranyagarbha is given. All the devas are given the rules. The Dadi, you do this, you do this, you do this. For example, it says, oh, water, apaha, you have to be always cool. Follow this Ritam Patishyami. You follow this rule. Oh, fire, that you be hot. So he gives for all natural powers their power and the rule of engagement. The water can never burn without the influence of Agni. This is called Dharma. Dharma means niyati, how you should behave, is the rule God creates. Dadati. Matarishva is Hiranyagarbha, Ishvara. Bhagavan also say in a Bhashyam, Dharayati. Dharayati means, the Dadi means Vibhaga, distribution of power. You do this, you do this, you do this. Dharayati is the Dharana. He is the one, also cause of it, to reward accordingly. Karmabala Datta. He's watching everything. He's controlling everything. So what he has done, I actually planned to do 4, 5, 6, but I've only done 4. My apologies. What in the 4th we have learned is, Atma, as you see as Nirguna Brahman, Ajayate Advaitam, undifferentiated, unmoving, all-pervading. But in the transaction world, in relative reality, when I see him as Ishvara, I can compare against my power and Ishvara's power. My power means my Jiva's power and the Atma's power. My Jiva's power, the highest power, is my mind with Indriyas. The power is measured in the speed here. The speed which mind travels, Atma travels faster. The knowledge that my senses bring in, Atma cannot do, senses cannot do the Atma, because Atma is aprameyam. It transcends the time, my experiences, my avastha. Remember the word avastha? Avastha, we say, I'm doing avastha, sir. Remember avastha, kashtam. Avastha means experience, but we use it for, in Tamil we say this kashtam, trouble. This is the beauty of the language itself. In any language, but Sanskrit has got more. Vastu is an object. Avastu means a non-object. Avastha, therefore, is when you see avastu on a vastu. Unreality, in reality, you see, you have a trouble. So we do the adhyaropam. Oh my God, he was making fun of me. It hurts me. He was not making fun of you, but that's your perception. And avastu, you put on the reality. You have trouble. So all the avastha about is adhyasam, adhyaropam. What is the way to come out of it? Apavadam. Remove that thinking. Tena tektena. It's my srishti. I am the one making that perception. Tena tektena. It doesn't mean I don't have opinion. You can have opinion. Opinion for executing karma, but not for your attitude will change, not for your behavior change. Because you must see divinity in this. Stop it there for sure. So that's what we saw that in the next class. We will see one more of the riddle of Atma, and 6 and 7 are the Atma Jnana Phalam. How does the phalam comes into that? This 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, every verse is important. 4, 5, 6, 7 is very important because Bhagavan quotes all the time. But paramount is the first verse. You should even know that. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate.
Om
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate.
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnamadaye
Purnamevavasishyate.
Purnamevavasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti
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 Shanti.
Shanti.
Hari Om Tatsate.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Raja sir,
Thank
for
you
a
very
very
much.
illuminating lecture.
I welcome